How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to your daily dose of Broodwar. Today we're going to be continuing the series between Fantasy and JAEDONG. When we last left off, it was a 2-1 victory here for JAEDONG, but we still have plenty more games played on ladder. In July of 2023, these guys met many times over and over again. We've got an 8 racks here to start off on Nemesis, and JAEDONG is on close position. He's not going to be able to spot this with his Overlord either, so things are looking good here for Fantasy. If you guys want to check out those matches, I think most of you have probably already seen those matches between JAEDONG and Fantasy, but I will link it in the description regardless. And guys, I want to make a special announcement as well. I've decided that as an added benefit to my Patreon supporters who support for $5 or more per month, I'm going to release my replays to you guys. Each game that I cast, I'm gonna release that replay to my fans so that you can take a look at it yourself if you're interested in, copying some of these strategies, or you just want to take a deeper dive and look at, how those games played out. You can do so. I thought it might encourage some more people to support. Just for a little bit of perspective, $5 a month means about 17 cents a video. If I'm doing approximately 30 videos a month, I'm doing this the daily dose, so that's quite the bang for your buck, plus those replays, and you're gonna get updates about how I'm doing, what I'm up to as well. So with all that being said, we've got the bunker rush coming in here. A lot of drones have been pulled. In order to defend this, we've got 9 drones here ready to fight. Bit of back and forth between these two. He's not ready to engage just yet, but once the 3rd Marine arrives, that's when things start to get dangerous. That's when you can really gun down these drones very quickly. Nice dodge down south there, but JAEDONG getting the perfect surround immediately afterwards. Oh! He stayed just a little bit too little. Could have stayed a little bit longer there. Did lose 2 drones though. 2 drones went down, I think. Maybe even a 3rd. Not sure on that though. 1 Marine here gonna be left behind. Maybe run into the main and try to shoot down that 1 injured drone. No, the injured drone goes ahead and makes an extractor, so he's not gonna lose anything here. He's just gonna get that full scout. 2 SCVs kind of hiding down here to the south. Back at home, we've got the Mickey Mouse wall here. That Marine went down over in this main base. 4 or 5 lings gonna come up to the front here. I think overall this is a good hold from JAEDONG. He only lost a couple of drones, 2 to 3 drones. He didn't make or over make lings here either, just 6 lings and back into droning immediately. Meanwhile, Fantasy didn't lose a single SCV, so that's pretty darn good as well. Only losing a few Marines and trading them out for those drones. You still want to get more though. With that 8 racks, you're going to be delaying your SCV production a little bit and the like, so it is important to get just slightly more than what he actually did. Breaking through the eggs now here on the center left. Wants to open up a pathway for a backstab here potentially, but Fantasy already with that Marine on the high ground. Now, in that previous series we watched between Fantasy and JAEDONG, same position actually. Now that I think about it, we had JAEDONG here in the bottom right, we had Fantasy in the bottom left, and Fantasy did that push that he is getting well known for, which is the tank plus Valkyrie push, where he saves scans and scans his way across the map, making sure that there's no hold position lurkers, and gets his way right over to the natural at a very early timing, long before Defiler can actually come out. And he tends to do a lot of damage with it and often wins the game. So we'll see if he wants to go for that once again. We're actually killing the assimilators here over on the right hand side. Looks like lings being pushed away from these eggs, just keeping that safe. You can always bring these back though a little bit later once the Mutalisks are out on the field. They can push all of the Marines back, and then you can start to break in It'll just be up to JAEDONG whether he wants to go for something like that. Getting Lings in the main can be really significant, especially if you draw the Marines here to the front and you manage to run Lings in here. You can kill some turrets and then start to snowball things out of control. But I'm not sure that that's what JAEDONG has in mind. He's got a third hatch here in the main. It's a 2.5 hatch from him. That spire is nearly complete. We'll see if he grabs a third base anytime soon. This map can be very good for Zergs trying to take multiple bases here in the early game. He's having set up some emergency sunkens right now because this 2 racks timing is coming across the map pretty quickly. He's gonna go after the Firebat. Nope, Firebat does manage to survive there. 1 sunken is done. A second is about to finish up. The emergency evolution chamber gets thrown down. Second sunken finishes up just in time here. He needs a target with these sunken colonies. Pretty good move there, keeping the medics in front of this army and actually pushes everything back. Gonna run inside the main here. That was some pretty nifty stuff from Fantasy. Running by now into the main. He's gonna get a couple of drones here at least, if not more. 3 mutas are on the way. That should clean everything up. The sunken colonies are still alive here and actually forced out quite a few Lings. So that's gonna bite into the Mutalist count here for JAEDONG. His first wave of mutas is going to be much less potent coming across the map here. He is going to have a lot of Lings though, however. And now I'd really like to see him come over here and kill this Marine and start to kill these eggs, because that would be a pretty strong way to play this out. Here comes those mutas now. There's only 4 of them to start things off. The 5th coming to join the group over here, and it looks like he might just do exactly what I was talking about here. No, coming into the natural now, taking a look at what is available here for Fantasy. Plenty of turrets are done. He knows he's done a pretty significant amount of damage. Now gonna dump on top of the supply depot. Great kill there for JAEDONG, just picking that off and opening up this position a little bit. Might be able to run in there once again in the future. This has actually been abandoned. The Marine has been drawn back, so maybe he can go around there and start to kill that. I would send just a couple of Lings maybe to go and start opening up that position. We also have this area here that these Marines were working on this assimilator, but they didn't really get through the shields even to start breaking that down. We've got a Queen's Nest on the way now. Hydralisk Den is done with the Lurker upgrade coming in. 3rd base on the way here at the top right. JAEDONG is starting to get into that transition here. But this is a scary point in the game. This is when the Fantasy push is the most powerful. Fantasy has that early game. There we go. He's actually doing it. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. This is the Fantasy push right now. We're going to be putting on the machine shop. We're going to be starting to produce tanks here. And as this Valkyrie gains more, or the Valkyrie number starts to increase, we're going to see a nasty looking push come out of Fantasy. And I don't know if this is going to be enough to distract him, slow him down so that JAEDONG can get his Hive Tech out. Can he get his Defiler in time? He's starting to produce Lurker, or Hydra at least, and Lurkers will be coming here soon. That Hive is about to finish. We're breaking through at the back. Takes quite a long time though for these Lings to make their way in. Pushing back all of the mutas here with those 2 Valkyries, and I don't see any Scourge on the field just yet, although some are now in production. Gonna pick off an Overlord here on the left hand side. Maybe these Lings can get in and make enough of a distraction here to slow things down. I'm not sure though. Lurker eggs here on the ramp. He's blocking that for now. Lurker eggs here in the natural, adding on a few more sunken colonies. Try and keep himself alive here. 3 Valkyries and tanks are now being produced. Keeping the Valkyries alive is huge. Not allowing any of them to get picked off here as the push makes its way across the map. He didn't even have to worry about the Lurkers, actually. Spotted them in the natural, and now he's made his way all the way up here into a great position. As long as he can safely move his tanks across the map, he should be okay to start cracking this. Where are his tanks? Okay, his tanks are sitting back at home. That's not good. We want to see these at the front right now and start to break through here. The Defiler's Den is done. Defiler's Mound is done, but I don't see Consume in production. He actually needs to get that started really, really quickly here. There's Consume. It's just now started. Tanks are coming across the map here. It is a little bit slow for Fantasy. Usually he would be a little bit quicker on this. I'm sort of surprised here. Ooh, falling back against these Scourge. Nicely done. He's trying to get some more kills on these Overlords as well, if he can. I'm really shocked that JAEDONG also not... Oops, we lost one of those. I'm surprised we don't see JAEDONG, you know, going in between the two armies here. Oh, what is this? A drop heading up to the top right. May be able to get a lot of damage here. Actually, that's been spotted by this Overlord, and now JAEDONG going to move the Lurkers into place in time. So if these are not careful, they might run right in on top of that. There's the tanks in the natural. He's going to lose one of these Valkyries. The second Valkyrie goes down here. Fantasy a little bit sloppy with this play. Looks like he may end up getting foiled here as the Consume is about to finish. It's so darn close. He's going to pull the trigger, try to run forward here right now and break this. Looks like there's only one Lurker left. It goes down. Consume is done, but there's nothing here to protect with the Dark Swarm. Looks like one Lurker going to manage to run up this ramp, and 3 more pop through. I don't see the drop. It must have gotten shut down in the top right. Lurkers here burrowing, but more drones are going down. Dark Swarm here not available. He's going to pick off one more Lurker. He gets it. Looks like the Mutas have come back here, going to kill off some of these tanks. Another wave of reinforcing Marines comes up here. He may be able to still crack this position, bringing the tanks up and the Marines as well. Fighting straight up against the Mutas, though, without medic support is not advisable. Lurkers popping out here. It's looking like JAEDONG may just barely be able to hold here. Yes, indeed. He picks off that last Marine, and he will finish off this tank. Big moment there for JAEDONG. He lost quite a lot. He did lose quite a few SCV, or quite a few drones, excuse me. He lost his defenses here, and his Lurkers were killed, but he manages to hold on. He keeps his Nidus alive as well, so there's an easy route to getting to that top right-hand corner in case there's a drop there or something. Running forward, Lurkers gonna burrow here, and this game will go on. Interesting. Hey, not bad at all from JAEDONG. A lot of barracks being added on right now. Looks like we're getting double upgrades and going into our next stages of the game. Irradiate is coming out here. Of course, those are going to be much later than a regular SK Terran style, because they have we did go for this kind of push here. This tank push has slowed really everything else down quite a bit, and 2 more tanks are actually produced. I want to see him build another starport here and stop building tanks, because they're really not going to be useful anymore. Coming across the map with some Scourge. Maybe he can look for some snipes on a dropship or a vessel that's coming across the map. Just holding down the fort here is JAEDONG. You're never going to break through this with just 2 tanks and some Marines. Eventually, he will get a good plague on you as well. Oh, almost managing to pick off that science vessel. That would have been big. Third base is set up here. Got the science vessel. I think he could easily dive on the science vessel and get that for free with those 2 Scourge. Not enough Marines there to protect. Fantasy continuing to put the pressure on here, but there's no real danger of JAEDONG dying right now. Let's take a look at the upgrades. We've got no armor just yet, but it's about to finish. Meanwhile, +1/+1 is done. +2/+2 is about to finish. So really staying on top of these upgrades right now. Oh boy. We're about to head out on the map with a bunch of dropships here. They're all nearly full of units. And another base being built up here, but nothing to protect this location. He really needs to send some Marines over here to defend. Still with the tanks over on this side, not really getting anything done. SCVs are being killed at the third base. Fantasy gonna have to pull away from here and send some Marines over to assist. Big drop gonna be coming in here. This is not gonna be detected by JAEDONG. He's gonna have no idea until it hits his main base. This could be massive damage here. He's also running in. Oh my god, he's just running by over here at the top center. Makes his way in here. Looks like he's gonna lose the tanks, but meanwhile, big drop here in the main. Oh my god. So much damage from this. Looks like having to run away from this position, but the main base is getting utterly ransacked here. Everything gonna end up going down. GG, JAEDONG taps out. He did not see that drop coming, and Fantasy somehow managing to find a win here when I thought JAEDONG had weathered that storm. Still, Fantasy wedges his foot in the door and cranks it open, giving himself an opportunity to take this game down before it got any further, before it got any crazier. And that's going to be it for game number 1. Let's go ahead and check out our next one. It's coming right up. All right, jumping into our next game. If you're confused about the score screen there at the end of the last game, that's because we had an earlier series. And I'm gonna just tally this up because we've got a lot more games to come, guys. Just gonna keep the tally rolling here and see who is more accomplished, or who is showing better results here between Fantasy and JAEDONG in July of 2023. And all these games were played in July, so we're getting a big sample size from some very recent matches. It's really good to see. I don't think I could have asked for a better matchup. Yeah, who else would I ask for as a Zerg player to play against Fantasy this many times if it wasn't JAEDONG? Maybe Soma? I'm not sure, but we're gonna get into this one. We've got no 8 racks this time. Fantasy are gonna throw down his supply depot right next to his command center, and barracks down here on the low ground. It's looking to me like a 12 hatch out of JAEDONG, so not at all perturbed by that last rush build. He's just gonna go ahead and continue playing his game. He knows that he can micro those early drones very, very well, and maybe he can even do better than last game. Last game, it was pretty good, man. I thought he did a really decent job holding off that 8 racks. Still did a tiny bit of damage, but I think that it might have hurt Fantasy more than it helped, honestly. So I understand why he's not going for it again this game. Second supply depot coming down here. We've got the barracks just about to finish down on the low ground. Spawning pool followed immediately by an extractor here, and you can see that not many drones have been added on just yet here for JAEDONG, so going for pretty much the quickest extractor, which will give you the best layer timing. It comes in about 3 minutes. If you wait till 3:05, there's a bit of a funny thing here, but if you wait until 3:05 to morph your hatchery into a layer, you will get an extra larva. Now, don't ask me to explain in depth why that is, because the larva timings are quite intricate, but just know that if you start that on 3:05, you will get 1 extra larva. It looks like we're putting on some marine pressure here in this game as well. 2 marines have already crossed the map. We've got no overlord out front of the natural, so JAEDONG doesn't quite know that this is coming here just yet. Hasn't added on any links, but he'll be getting 2 sets here in a second. So 4 links should be enough to hold off just these 3 marines, which are coming up here shortly. And with Fantasy spotting that out, he should just send these home, or is he going to keep rallying here? It's a little bit wild. Oh, the overlord is actually in a bit of a nasty spot right now. Could be in a bit of trouble here. 3 marines coming forward. They're just going to threaten for a second. It's going to make a run for it with the overlord to this little water area. All the marines are backing off now. Gonna turn and fight here. Got a target down on some of these lings. Looks like the lings are gonna run on by. Ling speed is on the way here. The layer has started. It is just about to finish up. 3 more sets of lings are coming, and a creep colony as well. So taking this very seriously. Gonna try and get the ling on the, or trying to get the marine on the other side of the map. He does pick off 1 marine, but does lose his lings as well. Here are those marines now going after this creep colony. Creep colony gonna morph? No, it's not gonna morph. He's just gonna wait for these lings to pop out, and the moment they pop, he is gonna go for these marines. Marines being dived upon right now. It is just slightly before the ling speed is done, but it's fine. We are gonna be able to clean up everything. That is a big win here for JAEDONG. Picking off those Marines there is going to put him in a decent spot. It forces the bunker here as well. You have to be safe here from Fantasy and build this bunker. You also have to get that engineering bay right away here. Where's the engineering bay? Oh boy, scary, scary. Oh, he's gonna run by as well. Ling's running by into the main base. There's just not enough Marines here. You can't pull Marines out of this bunker because even more Lings coming across the map means he could just bust you. Gotta get the SCV in between the bunker and the barracks here. It's essential. He's gonna have to fight these Lings with the SCVs, and that means he's not going to have that engineering bay in time. Look, the spire is almost done. We don't have an engineering bay yet. Oh my god. Fantasy outplaying himself a little bit here. Cutting that. Oh god, and more Lings are gonna run by as well. Look at that. I can't believe that Lings can run through there. That is crazy. Firebat's gonna pop out here. He's trying to get the second barracks down, but it looks like JAEDONG may be able to take this one away. Killing off a ton of SCVs here in the main. There's really not that many workers for JAEDONG right now, but it doesn't really matter because we're gonna have 4 Mutalisks coming across the map here pretty soon, and without turrets, he should be able to micro his way to a victory here. Keeping the Lings busy, keeping the Firebats busy as well. Gonna run into that bunker. Keeps the Firebat alive at least. We have stim now, but no range. And critically, no eBay still here for Fantasy. And I think the moment that these Mutalisks arrive in the main base of Fantasy is just gonna have to tap out. Keeping the, oh, there's the eBay. Keeping these Lings alive for such a long time, but the eBay is late. Terran missile turret's not gonna finish in time. There are the Mutas just picking off all the Marines here. The Lings can kill the missile turrets. The Mutas are just gonna gun down those Marines and Firebats immediately. And GG is called. Fantasy taps out, and a quick win for JAEDONG. Oh boy, spicy, spicy game there. Fantasy seems to be his worst enemy at times when it comes to putting on early pressure, going for these Marine pushes. He's right on the cutting edge of what Terran can do in these situations. Putting on that Marine pressure, and sometimes it does backfire. Sometimes it doesn't go so well, but oftentimes he forces out extra Lings. Oftentimes he kills extra drones and gets himself into a good position, but not every time. And JAEDONG's maneuvered this perfectly here with the Ling run-bys. And the Mutalisk follow-up manages to take him down and gets himself another win in this series. Okay, we're popping on into our next game, and boy, am I glad we didn't have to do any more picture-in-picture for that last game. I know it's a pretty cool feature, but I understand now why most casters don't do it. It takes a lot of effort. Gotta do those extra recordings, and not only that, it's very hard for a PC to process. Even with my new setup here, a lot of times DaVinci Resolve ends up failing. I'm really trying to find a fix for that because it's been super annoying. I'm constantly like looking up videos to try and figure out why that keeps happening, why it keeps crashing all the time, and I'm not even getting error messages at all. It just crashes randomly during the render, so that is a problem. We're gonna try and continue with it though. I think it's a great feature. It just takes a little bit extra time from me and some extra power from my computer. A little extra patience from me as well really is the key to get that render completed. Now guys, if you appreciate these casts and you are having a fun time watching them, make sure to support, guys. I also forgot to mention earlier that there are some secret casts on the Patreon channel as well for those who support for $5 a month or more. So we've got quite a few benefits to that Patreon channel now, and I'm always trying to add on additional, including, you know, adding replays to that. And this replay here and all the replays in this JAEDONG versus Fantasy series will be available in that Discord chat that is exclusive to Patreon supporters. So make sure to check it out. Doing my best here during ASL time to continue making these videos. think our views are down like 100%. It's pretty bad during ASL. Most people don't really have time to check out other Starcraft content, but it is what it is. We're gonna keep pushing through. Make sure you guys have plenty of Broodwar content to watch. And yeah, we're gonna get into this one. We've got Neo Sylphid here, which is not my favorite map. It's also gonna be hard for Fantasy. This is probably the worst position on Neo Sylphid. You've got this wall here for your natural, which is just, you know, an open chasm here. This mineral patch and this mineral patch and this mineral patch are very hard to defend in these positions. You have to put a lot of turrets over here in order to defend that. And then always the Zerg can fly through here and get on top of your barracks or whatever's back here, your tech, and harass this mineral line. We'll see if that comes to pass, though, because Fantasy, once again, putting on some early pressure here. He's doing exactly the same thing as he did in the last game. Sending Marines across the map and just kind of chilling out here, seeing what he can see with the SCV, and deciding, you know, hey, yeah, maybe I could get in there and do some damage. Maybe not. We've got a creep colony coming up here at the front. JAEDONG is completely aware that Fantasy loves to do this. He's got 4 lings. He's made 4 lings, so exactly the same setup as last game. And Fantasy this time gonna turn around. Last time he actually went for this. Last time he tried to get in here and actually damage the sunken colony, maybe go for some drones that didn't end up paying off. So this time gonna be a little bit more cautious, heading on back home. He's deemed that there's been enough defense built here for JAEDONG, and hey, look at that. I mean, it's great by Fantasy what he's done here. Forced the early sunken and 4 lings. I mean, that's great in my book, and he didn't lose anything. He's still gone for this very quick command center. And a 2.5 hatch. He's got full scouting information. This is exactly what I was talking about in that last game. You know, sometimes Fantasy messes up and, you know, throws the game away, but often he does a lot of damage in forcing his opponent to overproduce the defenses there, because, you know, you just never know. You just never know what Fantasy's gonna do. Is he actually gonna go for it? Is he actually gonna try and kill you? Or kill a bunch of your drones? Is he actually gonna commit those Marines? It's a gamble. If you don't build enough defenses, you might end up just losing a ton of drones. So most players are just gonna have to start respecting Fantasy and building those extra defenses. That's what we've seen here from JAEDONG with his layer finished. His Spire's on the way in the natural, which is a little bit strange, a little off-putting. I think that most players would say that putting your natural or Spire in the natural is probably not as good. But JAEDONG, you know, he's gonna risk it here. Maybe he had a drone popping out at the right time. I'm guilty of this as well. Is like all my drones are mining perfectly in the main, and I don't have a drone popping out at the right time, so I just build one in the natural. Just because I don't want to mess up my drone mining. It's like we've got a Ling running by into the natural here. Almost loses an SCV. Where is it? Where's that damaged SCV? Did he actually get it? Oh no, it got healed by the medic. So the medic saves the day. Keeps that alive. We've got quite a few drones here at the natural. Some Mutalisks are popping out. 3 Sunkens to defend that early timing push. And, you know, really respecting the pressure from Fantasy here. JAEDONG doing the right things to make sure that Fantasy can't break him here early, but has really sucked into his economy. You know, he just doesn't have that really big Mutalisk flock popping out right away. He's got 6, but as a 3 hatch player, you'd love to have 9, right, as that finishes. So it is being damaged here a little bit by the aggressiveness of Fantasy. Now coming in for the first time, he's going to try and deal some damage here. This is not the location I was expecting him to hit right off the bat. He is going to go for some Marines. Now, when you're going for Marine kills, to me, that's telling me you're probably going to be going for some sort of early game pressure. You're maybe going to try and overwhelm with Lings. Maybe you're going to try to, you know, do some sort of Guardian play or something like that. But if you're going for SCVs, like now he's going for SCVs, which is confusing a little bit, because SCV kills is going to give you a better position later on in the game. Let's say you're going to try and take a 3rd, which I actually think now he's probably going to try and do, as he's added on a bunch more drones, jumping up to 29. Killing SCVs is going to be better for you. Killing SCV is going to limit the Terran economy, and it's going to give you a better position later on in the game. Killing Marines, diving in and just gunning down as many Marines as you can it's going to give you a better timing attack. You know, if you decide to go, hey, I'm just going to lurker bust you, lurker all in you after mutas. Maybe I'm going to try and like Ling flood you with 3 hatches. That's a good way to play, is just go after the Marines over and over again. Now the Marines are out here in the front. But look at home, we've got 4 or 5 sunken colonies. I think we're gonna see JAEDONG dive here in the main, kill as many workers as he can, or as many Marines as he can, and then go after the turrets. I think that's gonna be the plan here. Ooh, he might lose an Overlord though. That is super frustrating. Losing an Overlord there really does hurt. When you're trying to do this kind of tempo play, oh, diving right on top of these Marines, that was not a good trade whatsoever for JAEDONG. He lost a bunch of mutas there. He had over a full control group, and now he's down to just 8. So this tempo play, I don't think it's gonna work anymore. We might have to see a plan B here for JAEDONG. I thought for sure he was gonna try to overwhelm in the main with these mutas, but now we've not finished building these sunkens. They're just sitting here as creep colonies, and he's going after the bio ball out on the map. He's gonna kill that, and he's gonna take his 3rd. But you know what? That's pretty late on the 3rd. We're here at 8 minutes 30. He hasn't started this yet. So his gas is not gonna come up for quite a long time. And we've already got the starports out. We're gonna have Valkyrie soon. I'm really liking Fantasy's position here a lot better than what I see from JAEDONG. They're gonna come in and kill a few more Marines. Might even be able to dive in on some SCVs as well. Maybe he can stop the tech, slow the tech down. He wasn't able to kill the SCV building the armory, so not able to slow that down at all. And we've already got Valkyries on the way. Queen's Nest, Hydra Den on the way here as well. Some Marines are being picked off. That 3rd base has just now started. Oh my goodness. We've got Valkyries on the way already, and we just now see that base started. +1 attack is going to be coming up for these Valkyries. Not the greatest, considering that we already have that transition on the way here. So he's just gonna keep hitting these Marines as much as he can, and then fly on out. Drones, where are they going? I guess the rally point's up here. That's a lot of drones being produced. He's really droning up hard right now. JAEDONG going up to 31 drones. His opponent, though, with 46, hasn't really been harassed too badly. He lost like maybe 4 or 5 SCVs at this mineral line, but other than that, you know, he's held on very nicely, and he's taken a lot of fights with his Marines. Having those 5 barracks, though, means that he's going to be able to produce like no other. Tons of Marines hitting the field, and, you know, those early kills, you know, that bio group that got killed over here, that doesn't really mean so much when you've got 5 racks to back it up. We have Glaive Worm, yes, 1 upgrade is done. No upgrade on the armor, and we're gonna have +1 ship weapons soon. So these mutas are not long for this world. They do not have much of a, they have a serious expiry date on them. Will not be surviving much longer. Lurker Egg gonna be morphed here. Drones trying to transfer down to the bottom right. Oh, here we go. Running into the natural, actually. Gonna go after these Marines. He could run into the main here, maybe take over the base, but I think we're just gonna see the army sent back, maybe just the Valkyrie sent back home. Going after this egg. Egg is going to morph a little bit later than the ones up here on the top of the ramp, so he will be able to burrow. Oh, he actually gunned that down. Are you kidding me? Oh no. JAEDONG gonna lose right here. He just completely lost that position. He morphed the eggs just a little bit too close to the ramp, and immediately Fantasy guns that down. He should have ran back a little bit before, you know, going in there, or before trying to burrow. But look at this. The main base is actually being ransacked right now. Links everywhere on top of these barracks, and he's actually bringing in some Scourge. Oh, Firebats are going to pop out here. All the army going back home for Fantasy. If he clears this out, he should be in a good position to win this game, but more lurkers running up here. Bringing up the Firebats is going to clear a lot of these links, and he's kind of cleared out the main base, although we've lost a ton of SCVs. A lot of SCVs going down here. Gonna burrow 2 lurkers. He's got to target these. Targeting the lurkers is crucial. He's not really doing it. It looks like Fantasy will clear all of this out, so when all's said and done, and the smoke clears here, I think Fantasy is in a good position. He's still got enough SCVs to kind of pump off of all of his barracks. He lost quite a few buildings here in the main, but nothing critical. He can still produce marine medic and science vessels, so I think we're gonna be okay here. This first science vessel is gonna be so key, though. I hope he doesn't lose that. Looks like we got enough you know, sunkens here at the natural, at least, to hold on, but nothing down here at the bottom third base. Looks like he spotted out where this army is. Maybe he can dive in here and get this kill. That would be huge if he can get that pick off. That'll really slow Fantasy's push down quite a lot. Nothing down here. Okay, lurkers are gonna make their way down here. That was a good move from JAEDONG. I don't know where those were morphed, but somewhere out on the map, I suppose. Like Fantasy scouting for that next base. Really wants to find out where that is, but it's already over here. He's gonna stack up these lurkers. He's got 3 stacked. Will he go for a D-Matrix and try to run up this ramp? That could be the killing blow. Yes, D-Matrix, he's going for it. Here we go, running up past this lurker. He's got a target, he's got a target. No target here from JAEDONG. JAEDONG letting all of the lurkers attack this fire bat is brutal damage, and now even this lurker over here is gonna end up dying. The Defiler comes out, tries to get something done, but this base being killed off is probably going to be fatal here. JAEDONG likely gonna lose this game. Man, oh man. A great move here for Fantasy. Just such a shame that he didn't target. If you target the ramp there, I think those lurkers kill every single Marine, and then you should be able to kill the fire bat, or at least, you know, save the base with your mutas, but he just wasn't able to do it. Now it's just panic mode here for JAEDONG as he's trying to like run Defilers around, trying to get something going, but GG is called. JAEDONG taps out, and Fantasy takes another victory here. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful plays from Fantasy. It got a little spicy there for a moment with all the lings on top of the barracks and killing off turrets and all that stuff. But Terran, famously very resilient, can hang on for a long time, can't afford to lose a ton of workers and still fight on. And a Fantasy showed that. He proved his point there, just killing off that third base from JAEDONG. Even though he didn't reduce the drone count at all, he just killed that one base. That extra gas is so critical that JAEDONG wasn't able to recover. Of course, the move up that ramp with the D-Matrix Firebat, also a fantastic play. But guys, that's it for now. We've still got plenty of games in the chamber, so stay tuned for more Fantasy versus JAEDONG in the future. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you on board for more of these daily dose episodes. And make sure to check out the Patreon as well, guys. That's kind of what's keeping me afloat right now, since we're in ASL time. Not a lot of views on these videos, so I definitely appreciate you guys more than ever. As this has been your daily dose of Broodwar, and I'll see you tomorrow.